I feel like I haven't really spoken much in this vlog up until now, but I thought this was a good time to share some news with you all. So if anyone's writing a novel or has written a novel in the past, you'll already know this feeling, but last Friday, I think it was like 4 days ago now, I finished writing my novel. So other than a few tweaks that need to be made, some things that I'm working with my lecturers with, I actually finished writing the last chapter. Now, it's kind of not the same feeling as if you was finishing your novel for the first time, because so far I've done 4 drafts, but I did end up changing the ending, which I'm not going to spoil, but I think the way this ending is definitely better than the last one, let's say that. So I'm excited to this new direction that the second novel is going to be going in now, with that sudden shift that I made at 10 o'clock at night in the last 2 lines of the chapter. But yeah, I think also something that's important to note with doing creative writing in university is that often you'll have office hours with your lecturers. So I have more than 2 lecturers, but I have 2 main lecturers that I go to for my office hours. So for the first 2 years, I didn't really do office hours that much. I think at that time I didn't really push myself as much as I should have been. I'm in my 3rd year now. But I kind of realised this year, like at the start of this year, that my novel and what I've been doing with it is actually, you know, a good idea and something I think I'm prepared to and have the ability to begin the process with publishing and things like that. So I've been booking office hours with 2 of my lecturers. I won't name them, but they're great people, and they're both, one of them's a published author and the other one's an almost published author, so they're both very well known with the publishing scene. And so I've been going to them both, and I had one with an office hour with one of my lecturers this Monday just gone, so 2 days ago. And I mentioned to him, you know, that I'd finished my novel and that he knows I want to get it published, so he's helping me, kind of giving me comments as if what an editor would. So I told him, I said, it's 500 pages, 94,000 words, around that. And he mentioned that, oh, you know, you might want to get it down a little bit. Like 60,000 words would be best for the type of things people are wanting to be publishing now. And of course, with him being my lecturer, you know, I was like, okay, I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I guess I have to cut it down 60,000 words. So I was having a think, and I was like, I'm not really sure there's anything, like he mentioned that maybe a subplot was going, you know, off in the wrong direction. And I was thinking, and I was like, I can't really think of a subplot that is going in the wrong direction. I feel like everything that's mentioned is needed. So actually, just this morning, which I forgot to film, but I had another office hour with my other lecturer, who I'm also doing alongside his feedback. And I mentioned to her, I said, you know, he's mentioned to me that it needs to be 60,000 words. Not exactly 60,000, but around 60,000. And I said, that would have to, you know, cut down a lot of my novel, and I was wondering your thoughts on it. And straight away they said no, and that 500 pages, is like a good amount for a dystopian novel. So I just wanted to really mention that, you know, your lecturers are there to guide you, but you don't always have to take their feedback on board, I guess, because once I heard him say 60,000 words, that was it. Panicking, you know, trying to figure out how I was going to cut it down, and then to be told that that's not exactly the case, and that's more of something an editor would do later on in the publishing process. And she said, like, from how I planned my novel and things, she said it would be typical for it to be 500 pages, sorry. So yeah, I'm relieved that I get to keep it how it is, and now I'm just working with them really to give me some feedback, to polish it, if you would. So I'm excited about that. One of them also told me about a book that's available in the library that has a list of agents in it. I can't remember it, but I'll put it on screen of what it's called, because it is available to buy on Amazon and things. And basically he said it's good to find agents that are willing to publish this year, and basically they put their names in that book, showing, you know, what type of books they want to publish, what age range, things like that, anything specific about your novel. And you basically go and find which ones you'd want to apply to, and then yeah, you just apply to them. So hopefully either tomorrow or Friday I'm going to go into the library, look again, because I've already looked before and I couldn't find it, but I'm going to go look again and then hopefully start writing that down, and then I'll get into the process of publishing. So yeah, thought I'd just update you all on how I'm basically finished with my novel. So I have a really strong desire to talk about this book, The Queen of Nothing. Halfway through. Also, if you want to see my bookmark, it's so cute. I printed it out myself. But yeah, I thought I just wanted to give my comments on this book and this series as a whole, because first of all, my sister's already read this and she mentioned to me that, I don't want to spoil it, but this is the last book about Cardan and Jude. So I'm like sad that maybe they're not going to be the focus anymore, but I'm also excited, you know, to find out what the end of their story is. But I won't go into too much detail, I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but I think this book and how it's gone so far is so good. I think I mentioned in my last video about the first one and about how there was kind of a lack of romance and that it was a little bit slow to get into, but oh my god, from the second one to the third one, I just haven't been able to put it down. So everything's just going so fast. It's like plot twist after plot twist, and again, I won't get into it, but I really recommend this book. I think the writing style is so great. It's one of those books that's like invisible writing style, where you're just so submerged into the story you don't really have to give much thought on the language, which is not a bad thing. This is a good thing. And yeah, I think it's got an invisible writing style, and it's just such a good book all in all. I think Jude is such a strong character. Writing my own novel, Jude is someone I wish I could, you know, embody with my own characters. The way she has this like drive to prove herself, and no matter like what comes against her, she always rises above it. I just really like that about her and Cardan. Cardan is like one of my favourite book love interests, I would say. He's like not too much of a love interest, there's not too much romance, but I think it works. The moments where they are romance, it's like, oh my god, don't stop. I want to keep finding out what's going on with them, but obviously inevitably something happens and then they're split up for however long. But yeah, I think if you're looking for a fantasy novel, I think the first one is called The Cruel Prince. It's a really good series to get into. There's still 2 novels left, but I know that it doesn't follow Cardan and Jude anymore. So I'll probably be updating in my next vlog when I'm finishing this, because I'm hoping to finish this today. But yeah, I think with wanting to write a fantasy novel, I've been reading a lot of fantasy stories, and I think this is such a good one to, you know, learn from. So yeah, if anyone is looking for a new fantasy novel, please read The Cruel Prince. Another thing I wanted to mention for anyone who's considering doing a creative writing course at university is that often with your assignments, so creative writing is coursework based only, and with each course you choose in a trimester, each class, you have to do a new assignment, which has to be either, it's difficult to like say, but it either has to be on a new subject, a new, depending on what type of prose you want to do, let's just go with novel. It would have to be a new novel, whole new novel plan, and you'd have to start writing maybe the first chapter of it. So, but that's not always the case. I did talk to my lecturer and he said as long as so for my last trimester I submitted the first chapter of a fantasy novel, and then for my new class in my second trimester he said technically I could still stick with the same novel, but I would have to rewrite the first chapter from a different point and act like I hadn't written that one. I couldn't refer back to that one at all. But I decided to go with a new novel that I had made up from a dream. So if anyone writes, then you'll maybe know that you get book ideas from everything, including dreams. So I had this book idea written down and I thought, it's a fantasy one, I'm gonna go with that one. So last week I think it was, I started writing the first section of the first chapter. So the chapter for the assignment has to be 2,500 to 3,000 words. So I wrote the first 1,600, and basically I wanted it to be within the like fae realm that often a lot of fantasy books are, and I don't want to spoil it, but it's going to be involving a fae male, an immortal female, and some powers he has over the kingdom. So I wanted to start writing that from, I think I called it Terra's perspective. That was only like a kind of name I came up with on the spot, you know, just to use for the assignment, but I think I like it, so I think I might stick with it. But yeah, I've been writing that, been writing fantasy, which I really enjoy. I mean, up until now I've been writing dystopian for like 2-3 years, so it's been really refreshing to get into fantasy, and I think I'm very excited for how the book is going to go. Obviously, with the aspect of being a creative writing student, you often have a lot of unfinished projects. So let's say, for example, in last year I did another fantasy novel, the first chapter of another fantasy novel, and then I kind of left that one where it was because I wanted to carry on, you know, finishing my dystopian novel. And then again with this one, I'm not going to start writing that novel until I've finished this one, so I'm just writing the first chapter for the sake of the assignment. But I really like where it's going. I think right now I'm liking how my character feels. I think she's kind of this girl that doesn't like her humanity. So basically, to summarise it, she's been kidnapped and like she's forgot all her memories, and she's been forced to work for this woman who is like, you know, a mortal fae. She's in the fae realm now, and basically she's like one of her servants, and she has like a lot of servants who all don't remember, you know, how they got there. They just woke up and they was there, and they're like forced to do it, you know, out of fear and things. And yeah, she's been working there, and within this chapter she's just been called up to the woman. I can't remember what I called her, I think it was like Valia, but she's just been called up to this woman, and then that's all I got up to at this point. But I'm like, I haven't planned it out. I don't know if anyone does this, but I used to plan out my chapters from like, you know, action to action. Every step was planned out, and I don't do that much anymore because I think it gives me more freedom in a way. Again, this is just like my opinion, but I think I'm excited to see where it goes because I haven't even thought of it yet. But I'm hoping to write the rest of it today and to send it off for my office hour. I have a class on Friday that's feedback, so most of the time in university you have a lot of feedback sessions for creative writing where you give feedback to someone else, they give feedback to you, you know, just so you can gather each other's opinions. And I think that's the thing I've learnt the most from university is the feedback sessions and the office hours. Obviously the classes I learn quite a bit as well, but I think really where I've learned the most for me is through the feedback. So yeah, I'll be writing maybe the end of that to submit for the Friday's feedback session, and I'm excited to hear what people think. From what I heard before, I think people are liking the idea I'm going for. So yeah, I'm excited to find out what that was, and I'll be also submitting it to my lecturer for that class to see what he thinks, get his feedback before I submit for the assignment. So yeah, I thought I'd just update you on what else I'm working on alongside my dystopian series. I just finished reading this. I posted earlier in this video saying how much I liked this, but I think that the ending kind of fell short. Again, I won't give any spoilers away, but I'd say the ending wasn't really my favourite part. But this is now the end of the series other than the other two spin-off books, so I'll be moving on to those. But yeah, I would recommend the series, but don't get your hopes up for the ending. I just got back from university. I had a class from 12 until 1. I walked to uni and I've walked back now. But I've got quite a busy day today, so I have to go walk my dog now and then get ready for an event. So basically there's this new thing at university where the teacher organises an event, and it's basically like a book launch for a well-known author. And he said basically that, you know, if you want to be published and you want to get into the book industry, then you have to go for networking. So I'm going to walk my dog, and that's at 6:30 and it's I think 2 o'clock now. So I'm going to walk my dog for around an hour. Hopefully try and get some writing in. I don't know if I'll be able to do that today, but I'm going to try. And then I'm going to get ready for that. And then straight after that, it's on for around 2 hours. Straight after that, I'm going with my sister to her friend's birthday thing. Fingers crossed I get some writing done, because I didn't have any writing to bring into that feedback session we just had. So hopefully I get some writing in to bring for the next one.